Joining us now is Ranjit Kumar. He has a very difficult task this evening. He is defending the BCCI, and I want to ask you, Mr. Kumar, the Bombay High Court said that the panel that had been adopted by the BCCI, which was looking into all these allegations last year, was illegal. Then the BCCI approached the Supreme Court. Today, a three-member panel of the Supreme Court has come out and clearly indicted the son-in-law of the BCCI chief. When the BCCI says it has zero tolerance policy towards corrupt practices, malpractices, today shouldn't it be taking action against its chief? Are you honestly going to defend that the reason why you haven't done it in the past was because you didn't have enough proof?
Well, first of all, I must clarify that I am not BCCI counsel and I am not on this channel before you trying to defend the BCCI or any of its action. I am here only purely simpliciter as an advocate, and as an advocate I will only answer what the question you have asked me.
Okay.
The question, the answer to your question is that the report which has been filed, Supreme Court will consider that report, pass appropriate orders, number one. Number two, charge sheet has been filed in the Mumbai court. There the charges will be explained, the trial will take place, and whoever is guilty will be punished. So both the Supreme Court has to take a decision on the report that has been submitted, and this trial court where the charge sheet has been filed in September, they will take a decision. That's all that I will say. But I am not defending BCCI or any other party. I am here in the capacity only of an advocate.
You have in the past, Mr. Kumar, that's why the question, but nevertheless, Aditya Sondhi is also joining us. And I want to ask you, the fact that the panel has not ruled out match fixing, what does that mean at this point? We have had Justice Mudgal come out and speak about betting at length, but match fixing hasn't been spoken about. It isn't that it has been ruled out, because in one of the recommendations, Justice Mudgal very clearly says that he wants senior players like Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid, Saurav Ganguly, VVS Lakshman, Venkatesh Prasad and Anil Kumble should advise youngsters against the malaise of match fixing.
Suggestion.
There's no doubt that the
report of Justice Mudgal's report I have not read, so I cannot comment on the report.
No,
I am very happy with this recommendation.
Mr. Kumar, I'm asking Aditya Sondhi. Go ahead, Aditya Sondhi.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
there is no doubt. There is no doubt that the report has held that the question of match fixing requires some further investigation. But the fact remains that on all other aspects, this report is a fait accompli in a sense that it has independently inquired into all dimensions and found, and I have the report here with me, that Mr. Meiyappan was in fact a team official and the face of the Chennai Super Kings. So I think that finding by itself makes the situation fairly untenable as far as the BCCI president is concerned, because for me now the aspect that requires some attention is that not only has the Chennai Super Kings been indicted, of which Mr. Srinivasan is the ostensible owner, but the more serious matter is that even based on the findings given so far, the BCCI would be compelled, in my opinion, to take some action against the franchise. Now, Mr. Srinivasan, being part of both the BCCI and India Cements at the helm, is put in a very uncomfortable position.
Boria, I want you to come in at this point and say that while he has been put in an uncomfortable position, does the story end with Srinivasan stepping down? What does this mean for brand IPL? Has this done terminal damage to the brand?
Of course it has. I mean, just imagine 2 days before the auction, everybody is calling the auction a charade. Last year, what were we watching in front of us? We were watching something being played out in front of us which was compromised by one of the owners. But I want to go a little further, Maruk. 2 months down the line, this country will go into a national election. Which are the three main parties? The Congress, the AAP and the BJP. Two people of the BJP. Narendra Modi is president of the Gurunath Cricket Association. Arun Jaitley till three months back was one of the senior most vice presidents of the BCCI. Anurag Thakur is still president of the Himachal Cricket Association. What is the plank that they are using? Anti-corruption. What have they said against this Mudgal committee report or against Srinivasan? Zero. What has Rajiv Shukla of the Congress party said? Zero. Rajiv Shukla of the Congress party, Farooq Abdullah, Take the names, Sharad Pawar of the NCP, these are all political head honchos fighting the election on anti-graft lines, Jyotiraditya Scindia included. These people are men of credibility, impeccable integrity, which this country follows. Have you heard even one of these politicians come out and slam Mr. Srinivasan? Said, take responsibility and step down. Let's cleanse the game. Let's take responsibility to take BCCI beyond these criticisms that now it has become a crony club. You know, that for me is the disappointment, because these are our real leaders who will lead the country 2 months down the line. But they, as leaders of cricket, as presidents of state associations, are completely silent, allowing this rot to continue.
It's unfortunate that none of them wanted to come on the show, Boria, which is perhaps a part of the cover-up, as they say, in cricket. But Bishan Singh Bedi, Pradeep magazine also raised that point. You are among the very few cricketers or people who are still associated with the game who has come out and spoken against this malaise. Why is it that others don't come? Is it primarily only because of, you know, whatever connections they still have with the game, which means ultimately about money?
Well, I've said it quite often, that money talks and money silences too, you know, and this is the case, unfortunately, and I feel very sad when I have to talk about my colleagues keeping quiet on this front, and this connivance of the bureaucrats and the politicians and the cricketers, you know, for the sake of money, not for the sake of the game of cricket, no, but just for the sake of money. I think it is so deplorable, honestly. And I don't know, how can you survive with what kind of conscience to claim, all right, I've been a giant in my own right, whether a batsman or a bowler or a whatever. No, I think that somewhere along the line you're answerable to your own conscience. Stuff the rest of the world. You know, I feel so annoyed with the whole development. And my former colleagues are party to it, unfortunately. And mind you, this malaise started with the second edition of the IPL, which went to South Africa. You know, you're allowed to take $10,000 out of the country legally, and you're allowed to bring in $10,000 legally, declare them. But millions and millions of dollars were sent out of the country without any accountability. And this enforcement directorate has been sending notices to the IPL, which is the subcommittee of the BCCI and the BCCI, no response. And if, as Boria mentioned remarkably well, that this connivance of BJP and the Congress and the other political parties, this is what is destroying. And that is why, well, nobody is willing to say a word against the most. I mean, you're talking about stepping aside or stepping down. Here is a man who's stepping up. He wants to take this step and take this corruption level onto the ICC. How do you explain that? And Indian cricket is, well, it's in shambles. It's in absolute shambles. And right from the beginning, I have been saying this, that IPL is the most illegitimate child of cricket. It is.
It's quite